Hello, I'm Hope Logan. I am an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and many people really love both me and our Bold and the Beautiful drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved Bold and the Beautiful. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. If you do, I will keep coming every day with new updates for you. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Monday, June 22nd, promise a day filled with ambition, high-stakes decisions, and mounting emotional pressure as powerful plans begin to take shape behind the scenes. At the center of it all stands Bill Spencer, a man who rarely does anything halfway, preparing to launch a bold strategy that could dramatically influence the future of Hope Logan Spencer's highly anticipated debut collection. The atmosphere is charged with anticipation as Bill looks toward the next chapter of Hope's fashion journey, determined to ensure that her new venture becomes impossible for the industry to ignore. With confidence in his vision and unwavering faith in the people involved, he begins laying the groundwork for what he believes could become a game-changing moment in the fashion world. Fresh off Wyatt Spencer's successful delivery of the special diamond his father requested, Bill finds himself one step closer to turning his carefully crafted scheme into reality. The gem is far more than a beautiful piece of jewelry. In Bill's eyes, it is the centerpiece of a larger publicity spectacle designed to generate excitement, headlines, and public fascination. As he prepares to reveal more details of his secret strategy, there is a growing sense that every piece of the puzzle has been carefully placed for maximum impact. Bill firmly believes that the hope for the future diamond possesses the power to captivate audiences and elevate Hope's collection beyond ordinary expectations. In his mind, this dazzling symbol could become the spark that transforms a fashion launch into a cultural event. As Bill continues looking ahead, his determination only grows stronger. He is convinced that Hope's name alone carries enough recognition to attract widespread attention, but he also understands that star power can only go so far. That is why he is placing equal confidence in the talent behind the designs themselves. Bill believes that Deacon Sharp's creations will impress critics, buyers, and fashion enthusiasts alike, creating the perfect combination of celebrity appeal and genuine artistic merit. Yet even with those advantages working in Hope's favor, Bill remains focused on the diamond and the publicity campaign surrounding it. To him, the gemstone represents a strategic weapon in a competitive industry where perception can be just as important as talent. With everything falling into place, he prepares to put the final stages of his ambitious plan into motion, fully expecting the fashion world to take notice. Meanwhile, away from Bill's calculated preparations, a very different emotional battle is unfolding. Hope finds herself wrestling with anxiety and uncertainty, burdened by fears she cannot easily shake. Although she has committed herself to a path that cannot be reversed, the weight of her choices continues to press heavily on her heart. More than anything, she dreads the moment when Brooke Logan Spencer learns the truth about what she considers a devastating betrayal. The thought of facing Brooke's disappointment and anger leaves Hope deeply unsettled, creating an emotional storm that follows her wherever she goes. Yet despite the fear lingering in her mind, she knows there is no turning back now. The decisions have been made, the wheels are already in motion, and all she can do is move forward and hope the consequences are survivable. Standing firmly by her side through all of it is Katie Logan Spencer, who continues to offer reassurance when Hope's confidence begins to waver. Katie understands the enormous pressure Hope is carrying and does her best to remind her that fear cannot be allowed to derail everything they have worked toward. Their conversations become a mixture of encouragement, strategy, and determination as they focus on the future rather than the fallout that may eventually come. Even so, neither woman is blind to the reality of the situation. They know time is their most valuable asset, and every moment that passes increases the risk of complications. If Hope's collection is going to succeed, it needs to reach the public quickly. That urgency becomes the driving force behind their next move. As the day progresses, Hope and Katie shift their focus from fear to action, throwing themselves into a brainstorming session aimed at accelerating their timeline. The pressure is intense, but so is their determination. Together, they explore every possible avenue that could help push the collection across the finish line faster than anyone expected. There is a sense of urgency in every discussion, every decision, and every plan they formulate. The stakes have become too high for hesitation, and both women understand that success may depend on how quickly they can execute their vision. With the clock ticking and competition looming on the horizon, they become increasingly focused on one goal: getting Hope's collection into the spotlight before anyone can stop them. That determination ultimately leads Katie to make a bold and potentially explosive decision. Recognizing that waiting could be disastrous, she sets an urgent launch date for Hope's collection, dramatically accelerating the rollout schedule. The timing is no accident. By moving quickly, Hope's debut will arrive before Eric Forrester's highly anticipated couture collection takes center stage on the runway. The implications are enormous. In a world where attention is everything, launching first could allow Hope's collection to dominate headlines, capture public interest, and potentially steal the spotlight from one of the fashion industry's most respected names. What began as an ambitious project is suddenly transforming into a direct challenge that could shake the foundations of the Forrester fashion empire. The closer Hope gets to that launch date, however, the more impossible it becomes to ignore the consequences waiting on the other side. While excitement and opportunity surround the collection, so do fear and uncertainty. Hope knows that once the truth becomes public, reactions will be swift and intense. The Forrester family is unlikely to remain silent, and she fully expects anger, outrage, and confrontation when her plans become known. The thought of facing that fury weighs heavily on her, but she refuses to abandon her commitment. Every step she has taken has brought her to this moment, and retreat is no longer an option. With determination overcoming doubt, she prepares herself for the storm that is coming. As Monday's drama unfolds, the tension between ambition and consequence continues to build toward a breaking point. Bill's elaborate strategy is poised to launch. Katie's accelerated timetable threatens to disrupt the fashion landscape, and Hope stands at the center of it all, caught between the promise of success and the certainty of backlash. Powerful emotions, risky decisions, and looming confrontations create an atmosphere where every move could change lives and careers forever. And as secrets inch closer to the surface, it becomes increasingly clear that Hope's shocking news will send ripples far beyond the runway. The waves created by these decisions are only beginning, and when they finally crash through Los Angeles, no one will emerge untouched. The tension surrounding Hope Logan Spencer's daring new venture continues to intensify as the countdown toward the collection's launch grows shorter with every passing hour. What once began as a hopeful opportunity has now evolved into a high-risk gamble capable of reshaping alliances, careers, and family relationships throughout Los Angeles. Beneath the excitement of fashion and publicity lies a much deeper emotional struggle, one that threatens to erupt the moment the truth becomes impossible to hide. Hope can feel that moment approaching, and despite her efforts to remain focused, the anxiety never fully leaves her. Every decision she makes is shadowed by the knowledge that once her plans become public, there will be no opportunity to rewrite the story or soften the impact. The future she has chosen is rushing toward her faster than ever, bringing both incredible promise and frightening uncertainty. As preparations accelerate behind the scenes, Bill Spencer becomes increasingly energized by the possibilities unfolding before him. He thrives in moments like these, when risk and reward stand side by side, and bold thinking has the power to create extraordinary results. The hope for the future diamond remains at the heart of his vision, not simply as an extravagant accessory, but as a symbol designed to capture the imagination of the public. Bill understands the value of spectacle, and he knows that in the modern world, attention can be every bit as valuable as talent. With each new detail of his strategy falling into place, his confidence grows stronger. He sees a path toward success so clearly that he refuses to allow doubt, criticism, or opposition to slow him down. In his mind, the collection is no longer just a fashion launch, it is an event destined to dominate conversations across the industry. At the same time, Hope finds herself caught between two powerful emotions. On one side is the excitement of pursuing a dream she has worked tirelessly to achieve. On the other is the fear of the devastation that may follow when those closest to her discover what she has done. The image of Brooke Logan Spencer's reaction continues to haunt her thoughts. She knows her mother's disappointment could cut deeper than any public criticism or professional setback. Brooke has always been a powerful presence in her life, and the possibility of losing her trust leaves Hope with a lingering ache that refuses to fade. Yet despite those fears, Hope remains committed to moving forward, convinced that abandoning the project now would only make everything she has sacrificed meaningless. Katie Logan Spencer remains a steady source of strength throughout the growing chaos. She sees the uncertainty in Hope's eyes and understands the emotional burden her niece is carrying. Rather than allowing those fears to take control, Katie continually encourages Hope to focus on what lies ahead instead of what might be lost. Their partnership becomes increasingly important as the pressure mounts, creating a sense of unity against the challenges looming on the horizon. Together, they throw themselves into final preparations, determined to ensure that every detail is handled before the launch date arrives. The urgency surrounding the project creates long hours, difficult decisions, and moments of doubt, but neither woman is willing to back away from the finish line now. Meanwhile, the fashion world remains completely unaware of the shockwave that is preparing to strike. Industry insiders continue looking ahead to Eric Forrester's highly anticipated couture collection, expecting it to dominate headlines and command attention across the globe. Few realize that another collection is quietly racing toward the spotlight, positioned to arrive first and potentially seize the momentum Eric has worked so hard to build. The possibility of Hope's launch stealing attention from such a celebrated event adds another layer of tension to an already volatile situation. If Katie's accelerated schedule succeeds, the consequences could extend far beyond family disagreements. It could trigger a fierce professional battle, one capable of reshaping reputations and igniting rivalries throughout the fashion industry. The closer Hope comes to revealing her collection, the more she understands the magnitude of what is about to happen. Success and conflict now seem inseparable. Every exciting development is matched by a growing awareness that powerful reactions are waiting just beyond the horizon. She knows the Forresters will not welcome this challenge, particularly if it threatens to overshadow Eric's work. Their anger could be swift, public, and deeply personal. Nevertheless, Hope continues moving forward, drawing strength from her commitment and refusing to allow fear to dictate her future. It is a difficult choice, but one she believes she must make. As Monday's drama races toward its next chapter, the atmosphere becomes charged with anticipation. Bill's ambitious publicity machine is preparing to roar to life. Katie's bold scheduling decision is set to change the timeline entirely. Hope stands at the center of a storm she helped create, fully aware that her world could look very different once the truth comes out. The excitement of opportunity and the threat of devastating fallout now exist side by side, creating a suspenseful emotional landscape where every decision matters. And with shocking revelations poised to make waves throughout Los Angeles, the stage is set for a confrontation that could leave lasting consequences long after the runway lights fade. The future of Hope's collection is hanging in the balance, and the ripple effects of what happens next may be felt by everyone caught within its reach. As the hours continue slipping away and the launch date draws dangerously close, an unmistakable sense of inevitability settles over everyone involved. What was once a carefully guarded plan is rapidly becoming a reality that can no longer be contained behind closed doors. The excitement surrounding Hope Logan Spencer's collection grows stronger with each passing moment, yet so does the shadow of the consequences waiting beyond its debut. Every conversation, every strategic move, and every last-minute adjustment carries the weight of something much larger than a fashion event. This is no longer simply about clothing, publicity, or business success. It has become a battle between loyalty and ambition, family and opportunity, fear and determination. And at the center of that storm stands Hope, preparing herself for whatever may come when the world finally learns the truth. For Hope, the emotional burden continues to intensify. While she remains dedicated to the path she has chosen, there are moments when the reality of what lies ahead feels almost overwhelming. She understands that launching the collection before Eric Forrester's highly anticipated couture event is more than a business decision. It is a move that many will interpret as a direct challenge. The thought lingers heavily in her mind, creating moments of uncertainty even as preparations move forward at full speed. Yet beneath the anxiety is a growing sense of resolve. She has come too far to abandon the dream now. Every sacrifice, every difficult choice, and every risk has brought her to this point, and she refuses to allow fear to erase everything she has worked so hard to achieve. Katie Logan Spencer watches Hope closely, recognizing the emotional conflict that continues to wage beneath the surface. She knows Hope is trying to balance excitement with guilt, confidence with doubt, and ambition with the fear of hurting those she loves. That is why Katie remains determined to keep her focused on the goal ahead. Whenever uncertainty begins to creep into Hope's thoughts, Katie reminds her of the opportunity standing right in front of her. The collection represents a chance to build something meaningful, something capable of establishing a powerful new future. Katie understands that difficult decisions often carry painful consequences, but she also believes that success requires courage. Her unwavering support becomes an anchor for Hope during a time when everything else feels increasingly uncertain. Meanwhile, Bill Spencer continues operating with the confidence of a man who believes victory is within reach. Every aspect of his publicity strategy appears to be aligning exactly as he envisioned. The Hope for the Future diamond remains the centerpiece of his campaign, a dazzling symbol intended to generate curiosity, excitement, and widespread media attention. Bill knows that the fashion industry thrives on spectacle, and he intends to give the public something impossible to ignore. Combined with Hope's recognizable name and the designs that he believes will impress critics and consumers alike, the diamond becomes part of a larger narrative designed to dominate headlines. The closer he gets to executing the final stages of his plan, the more convinced he becomes that this launch has the potential to become one of the biggest success stories in recent memory. Yet, while Bill sees opportunity, others may soon see betrayal. The possibility of Hope's collection overshadowing Eric Forrester's work creates a looming threat that hangs over the entire situation. Eric's reputation has been built over decades of creativity, dedication, and influence within the fashion world. His upcoming couture collection was expected to command the spotlight without challenge. Now, however, that spotlight may suddenly shift. If Hope's launch captures public attention first, it could dramatically alter the conversation surrounding both collections. What should have been a celebration of fashion may instead become a competition fueled by emotion, rivalry, and wounded pride. The prospect of that reaction weighs heavily on Hope as she imagines the fallout still to come. She can almost feel the wave of anger gathering strength before it crashes into her life. Brooke Logan Spencer's disappointment remains one of her greatest fears, but she also understands that the entire Forrester family may view her actions as a betrayal. Relationships that have taken years to build could be damaged in a matter of moments. Trust could be broken. Alliances could shift. Long-standing tensions could explode into open conflict. These possibilities linger in the back of her mind, creating a constant reminder that success may come at a very personal cost. Even so, there is no turning back now. The machinery has already been set into motion, and stopping it would be nearly impossible. The launch date is approaching. Bill's publicity campaign is ready to ignite. Katie's accelerated timeline is pushing everything forward with unstoppable momentum. Hope can only move ahead and prepare herself for the reactions that will inevitably follow. It is a moment filled with equal parts excitement and dread, a crossroads where triumph and disaster seem capable of existing side by side. As this chapter of the story nears its breaking point, anticipation reaches extraordinary levels. Powerful secrets are on the verge of becoming public knowledge. Carefully hidden plans are preparing to step into the spotlight. Emotions that have been simmering beneath the surface are growing hotter with every passing day. Hope's shocking news is poised to send shockwaves through families, friendships, and the fashion world itself. And when those waves finally begin to spread, they may trigger consequences far greater than anyone expects. What begins as the launch of a collection could soon evolve into a dramatic confrontation that changes everything, leaving relationships tested, loyalties questioned, and futures forever altered.